What was it like in your draft room? The number of times I'm sitting there on the set and I'm hearing the Panthers are trading down, I lost track and then you moved up. I mean, you were all over the board. What was it like that night in the weekend?
I think there were a lot of nervous coaches and scouts as they sat there and they watched other people draft them. But I think at the end of the day it worked out. It was nerve-wracking at the time, to be quite honest. Because you're taking some gambles, but at the end of the day, the risk, the risk wasn't outweighed by the reward.
So let's jump right into it, if you don't mind. You had the choice of every defensive player on the board. I mean, that's incredible. That had never happened in the history of the draft. That somebody 8th overall could be sitting there having every defensive player at their ready, because the draft had never started with 7 offensive players in a row. Were you close to making it 8 offensive players? We
had thought about it. I mean, we liked a lot of the guys that obviously the guys that went before us and the guys that were there. But we looked at Jaycee Horn as like being the perfect player for us. A great player, son of an NFL player, so he's grown up in it. Loved the way that he plays, and then obviously fills a need for us. And so I think anytime you can get a guy that you feel really good about, not just what they do on tape, but also who they are and their mental makeup. It was a pretty easy pick for us.
Well, I mean, you had, like I said, every defensive player available to you, and there was Patrick Surtain as well. I know you just kind of mentioned that you liked the fact that his dad played in the league and he maybe grew up around the sport. Why else Jaycee Horn over Patrick Surtain from Alabama?
I don't think anything negative to either player. I just think as we spent time with JC on Zoom, I went to the pro day. As I just kind of watched him walk around and interact with people, you can just feel his competitiveness, and so that's something that I love. And there were lots of other guys that we knew, like, hey, these guys would help us and they'd come in and play for us. But JC, there was just a certain edge, a certain vibe to the way that he plays that just kind of jumped off the tape. And I think it wasn't just me. I mean, I think our secondary coach, our coordinator, our GM, I think everyone felt that. And he is the way that we want to play.
And was it any point of view, because again, I'm sure you're very happy to get him and excited to get him, any point at all you're like, am I ever going to choose an offensive player in the draft? Because, I mean, your entire first draft was defensive players, Coach.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah,
right?
I looked over at the offensive staff, and you could see them. And then I think Mr. Tepper, our owner, he was kind of saying, "Are we ever going to do someone on offense?" And kind of in a joking way, but. Again, we love the kid, and then I got back in the second round, and we were able to get a wide receiver, and then a couple offensive players after that. So, but yeah, there were definitely some guys on offense that were like, why do we even write these reports if you're not going to?
Nice. I mean, wide out, tackle, tight end from Notre Dame, and Tommy Tremble, and then Chuba Hubbard, who had a terrific career at Oklahoma State. All 4 offensive players after all of that. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.